Hey yo, what's up? What's up? Hey, you tuned in with your favorite engineer, Grammy Award winner, Courtland Liddell, and I'm tuned in live with 24/7 live culture. Win this thing.
Welcome back to another episode of Who's Hot. Today, I got a special guest in the building with me, straight from my hometown, Jackson, Mississippi, Grammy Award winning sound mixing engineer. Y'all give it up for Courtland Liddell. What up, bro?
What's up? What's up? What it do? What it do? What it do, bro?
Not much, man. Thank you for hopping on the platform with me today. I guess we could just start at the top, man. Like the Grammy Award nomination, the victory. How did the news come about? How did you feel, when you heard your name called for such a prestigious award?
Man, I would say it's funny. Like, bro, I was actually more lit. We was actually more turned up than about the nomination than the award. Not saying we weren't happy to receive the award, but it was just like. Like I said, I was at work, bro, when I got the news and when I found out that the record, that I had mixed was actually nominated. So it was like a surreal moment, bro. It was like all the hard work and all the, it just came to fruition, bro. So it was super, super, dope and just thankful and just a dope moment in general, bro. So, I mean, it's one of them things that you really can't put into words. You spend your whole career trying to work towards it, and when it happened, it's like, oh, so we here. Like this, it really happened. So it was a surreal moment all in all, bro. And just like I said, it's one of them things in time that I'm truly thankful that I've been blessed to be a part of and just even receive.
Right, right, right. For those who may not know, like, what is your role when it comes to making music? The sound engineer, a lot of times, we hear the rapper or the song or the artist or the producer, give us a little game on what your role is in the musical production.
Yeah, so my job title essentially is I'm an audio engineer, but I focus on mixing. So what a lot of people don't understand is whenever like most people, they just see the artists, they hear about the producers now, and maybe occasionally the songwriters, but they don't never really hear about the engineers. We're the ones that really tie it all together. So we're the glue that bonds all these different elements. So essentially, without us, audio engineers from recording to mixing to mastering, you guys don't really get to hear a song. Like, so by the time you guys hear the song, like, like finished completely, it's been through several different stages. Like, from recording, that's the person that would ultimately record the vocals, sometimes even record instruments if it's needed. Then you have mixing engineers like myself. We're the ones that add all the, it's like seasoning. I say if we had to add it to like, cooking, you got somebody that's gonna prep the food. They'll kind of get the ingredients together. That's the tracking engineer or recording engineer. And then you got somebody that's gonna season the food, and actually kind of like cook it. That'll be me, the mixing engineer. And then you got somebody that's gonna probably like, once it's all been cooked, they'll like put it on the plate and everything presented to you. That's the mastering engineer. So we had to look at it from degrees of food. But yeah, my role is I'm the one that adds all the different effects, like the echoes you'll hear, like if you hear a drop in the beat or you hear something chopped and screwed, I'm the person that does all that.
Okay, okay, dope. I'm curious, like, how did you find yourself in this lane? And who are some of what was that benchmark record that you had like starting out like?
Oh, that's a good question. Pretty much who kind of helped me cultivate and get into this side of it. Well, I've done just about everything creatively you can do in music, just about for the most part. I've been a beat maker, music producer. It's funny that title has changed since then. I've been a tracking engineer, a recording engineer. I've done campaigns for artists and stuff like that. I've done design work for artists. Like, but really what kind of got me into that role, man, I used to make beats and really like my buddy, my best friend Jameson, who taught me how to make beats. He was like, bro, your beats be sounding amazing. What do you be doing to them mixing wise? And I was like, bro, I don't do anything but add reverb. I didn't think I did anything special,
Right.
but it turns out I was like mixing. That was the foundation of my mixing career. Um, and just bro, like I would say influences definitely musical influences, Michael Jackson, rest in peace Mike. um man, just like really my best friend, bro. Like Jameson, like truthfully, like bro, because without him, my career wouldn't have grown and been what it was. So he was a huge musical influence to me because I used to sit with him and just like we used to make beats together. Like he played classically piano, so I used to just it's funny, he used to call it swagger jacking, but I actually used to like try to like I used to look at what he did on the keyboard and I try to imitate that. That was my way of learning how to manipulate and work my way around the keyboard and everything. And then my first mentor as a mixing engineer, as an engineer, was Leroy Jones, right here in the state of Mississippi. He owned a studio called Sonic Signature, and just being around him and just really understanding the sonics behind music, understanding the roles of an engineer. Like he's the one that actually taught me how to be an engineer and really helped push me into that realm. He's the one that taught me not only how to listen, but what to listen for, which is very important in being an engineer. And he even taught me different roles of what makes a great studio manager. You know, he was even grooming me for that. So, you know, and just being around him, learning actually, I even learned through him how to start building a studio, like physically build a studio. You know, so that was like my foundation. And even my homie Esco, like Esco really showed me like, you know, how to actually not only connect with people, but Esco also showed me how to even you know, he taught me about lo-fi and hip hop and really enhance that side of like my musical prowess. So those three people are really like my musical influences as far as, you know, they really cultivated and shaped my career.
That's what's up. That's what's up. Dope, dope, dope. And I have a question for you. Because of your successes, do you think that the stigma behind, the state of Mississippi will, eventually kind of fade away? Because I know you a little bit off camera, and like one of the discussions that we had is that like Mississippians are everywhere. So do you think like with your successes and the success of others, in entertainment, do you think one day, hopefully, that stigma that, Mississippi is, lacking in certain areas, do you think that'll eventually blow over?
Um, I'll be honest with you, man. Personally, I hope it does, honestly. But I actually got to be realistic, you know, too. I mean, I've had conversations with several people from, I've talked to Kamel King, you know, I mentioned it to him. I think he even mentioned it to the mayor at one point in time. Like, to me, Mississippi has so much to offer. I mean, it's the birthplace of America's music. A lot of people don't know that we are the ones that not only influence, you know, icons like the Beatles, like our sound as far as what we did in blues, it's then stemmed to so many other genres of music and has our musical taste and what we started here in this state has been very influential in not only pop culture but music culture, just music in general. And I always really say this issue. I feel like Mississippi should be just as big musically, if not bigger than Nashville or Atlanta or even LA because of our contribution to what we did musically. Um, Hopefully one day, if you know legislators, if they see this, I would encourage them to invest more resources into the arts and into music, not just music, but in the arts in general. Like a lot of people don't know this, Mississippi has the most Grammy Award winners per capita than any other state in the U.S. So you know, I don't see why we shouldn't be investing more money into music because it clearly shows ain't no other state going toe to toe with us when it come to that realm. That's what we do, you know, and just I feel like we miss out on a lot of money just by not really focusing and putting our dollars into that marketplace. And also, people don't understand how music is not only impactful, but it changed my life and it changes the lives of so many others, such as they talk about violence in the city of Jackson, but when you don't have any resources or anything for the youth to interact with, and you already don't have, you know, money necessarily or things that really can articulate or give them a chance to express themselves, what do you expect? You know, so I mean, I look at part of the problem is, you know, we can point the finger all day, but the truth is when it comes to us as a state, we really, you know, don't really invest heavily into the state to help it grow like we should. I feel like I'm no politician. I never set myself out to be, but I mean, I'm all about changing. I'm all about pushing the needle. And, you know, honestly, like, you know, when you got BS, I like to call BS out and let's fix the BS, not just point the finger. So, you know, that's my stance on that. But hey, you know, politicians, if y'all do see this, hopefully y'all do put some money into the city and let's really like bring billions and millions here, because I mean, it's definitely here. It's just we got to invest and stop trying to put it in other avenues that ain't really, you know, helping us grow. We got to stop thinking old school and actually start thinking progressively. And I think that's part of the problem that we have here with a lot of our legislators.
Dope, dope. You said a mouthful, and I totally agree with you that we need to divvy up some of those resources to give to create those after school programs, those extracurricular activities, to keep the young folks busy. Because one of the things, real quickly, one of the things that kept me on, I guess, the straight and narrow, like was things like this. Like I've always been into media, television, just storytelling. That was something that caught my eye at a younger age. And, for most of us youth here in the city, it's either sports or get a job or, so
Yep.
yeah,
Yeah,
so
yeah, which is sad, like you said, man. I mean, it's like for me, like a lot of people don't know this, but I actually mix films. I work on movies and TV shows
oh,
as well. Doing post sound, and unfortunately, I didn't learn about that until I went to school. Granted, I'm glad I learned that, but if we had more resources here, we could actually show kids like on the audio side, hey, you can mix movies. You can work on video games by doing sound for video games. You can learn about live sound. You can learn about, believe it or not, people don't know this, but you actually have sound engineers that actually shape the sound of a car, that actually create the acoustics of a car. All those are careers in audios that you can, in audio that you can have, but if you don't know, you don't know.
Yeah, I'm gonna definitely be picking your brain more in the future, bro, because I'm definitely with all of the things that you said are just about, giving the youth something to do. The reason why it hits home, and I'm gonna change the subject quickly. The reason why it hits home for me because I have two 18-year-old sisters, they're seniors in high school, and they're focused on like what I'm gonna do, after high school, and did I do all the right things in grade school? Am I a
Hmm.
well-rounded individual? And so, like, when I hear people say, hey, we need to invest in this and invest in this, and this could potentially, like, build up the youth to, to get out of their mind frame that it's either A or B, you can do whatever. Like how you said, like how, we need to do a better job of exposing those lanes and avenues so hey, so the youth can be like, hey, I can get money doing this. Like, it's
Yep.
not always like cut and dry, and unfortunately around here, like I love my city, but there's not too many options creatively, so I'm
Yeah.
definitely gonna be picking your brain about how we can improve those things. I got a question for you. Like, which side of the game is, I guess, more exciting? The
Mhm.
music side or the movie side? Like, which side do you like more?
I mean, they both can be very fun at times, and they both can be very not only challenging but very disheartening at times. Um, I will be honest though, but like for me, as much as I love music, financially, it can be very disheartening, to be honest. Um, I mean, like a lot of people don't know that about music. They often are sold this false dream of, and yes, you can make money in music. I'll never say you won't. I've absolutely made money in music. But a lot of people, they get sold this, false sense of what it is, and they be like, they get so I would say the allure, like Jay-Z said, it's the allure, like the women, if you're a woman, it's the men, or the access on both sides of that, it's the travel, but all that has a cost to it. So I think a lot of people, they misinterpret that. And even on the film side, the film can be disheartening as well. I know producers and directors that invest thousands, and on the film side, people be like, oh, this movie cost 1.5 million. In movie world, that's small change. That ain't no money.
Right. Yeah.
People will be like, "Oh man, you spent $1 million. That's a lot of money." But in the movie world, they looking at you like that's a low budget film.
Right.
And you like, wait, what? But on the music side nowadays, years ago, back in like the 60s, 70s, 80s, 90s, 1 million was quite a bit of money. Still quite a bit of money in music. But I would say, you spend 1 million, especially today's, you can kind of get a little bit more out of that money, way more. But I mean, for me, like I said, both can be creative depending on what I'm doing. But honestly, as an engineer, I've yet to really be in a situation to where I was able to really showcase everything that I do. On the film side, I definitely love it because it has me open up a different side of my brain and really, pull out certain things and just think different. Like a lot of people think in a movie, you're using a lot of what I call effects process or like plugins, right, to alter the sound of it. But depending on the film, you can do that, but a lot of it is very cut and dry and it's straightforward. You don't have to really over process something. In music, depending on the style of music and the record,
Yeah.
you could do just about anything. So both have their creative instances and things that really make sense and are really beautiful. But like I said, in the music industry, I say it like this: it's very dirty. It's a very grimy game. I've had more issues in my professional career in music than I have in film.
Yeah.
Granted, I've done a lot more songs and records than I have movies, but movies, I've never had to, hog somebody down about paying me my money. I've never had to haggle somebody down about giving me my credit.
Right.
And music, man, I've done so many records to where I've literally had to try to haggle people down about the money. In some cases, I didn't never get paid, and also it was times I never got credited,
Yeah.
which is sad because if people look at my credits, it's a lot of records that I've worked on that I didn't even get credited for, and that's not only to me; it's a lot of engineers that deal with that.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
And
So,
then you got streaming platforms that don't even mention engineers, so
right.
it's
Right.
kind of you know, so it's an iffy battle, and it's messed up, but as far as from a security side, I would definitely say film because it's they credit me all the time. It's like that's not even a question. It's like, oh, can I get credit? In music, you asking somebody to get credit, it's like they looking at you like,
What?
you want credit? You
Yeah.
like you like, dang, bro, I actually worked on the record, and I did the record, and artists they'll tag you in an Instagram post, but that's nothing. You can delete Instagram posts, you
Yeah.
can archive them, delete them, and it's like,
It
yeah,
never
you say
happened.
you exactly. I mean, you can go look it up now, man. You got some of the biggest art in the world, and biggest artists in the world, and you look and you see who mixed this record. Where was it recorded or done at? You have no idea.
Yeah, bro. Yeah, that's it's a messed up game, that I appreciate you for sharing that with us, so often like so often, we don't know what goes on behind the scenes and for you to like just, give us a little insight on what, somebody in your position goes through, I think it'll help, people navigate, the game better. And you kind of touched on it, a little bit. I did want to ask you like what was the most important lesson that you've learned, throughout your journey on both sides? What is the one thing that stood out to you the most? Like I gotta have this one and walking into, pretty much every situation.
One thing I would say is if I could even go back in my career is definitely focus on the business. Like I would tell anybody, the music business or entertainment business in general is 90 to 95%, especially in music, is 90 to 95% business, 5 to 10% music. It's not the other way around. Going back, and luckily, a lot of people don't notice. I actually am the one that represent myself. I negotiate, all of my deals. I'm the one that does the paperwork. I've written up contracts for myself and even for other artists. Like I was actually going to go to school, for several different things, but in entertainment, I actually wanted to be a lawyer. I was actually going to go to school to be an entertainment attorney. So not only I could represent myself, but also represent my peers and negotiate on their behalf to get the best deal. Because a lot of artists, one thing I found out when I was in art school was that one common denominator between artists is a lot of them, they don't understand business, and they don't want to deal with business, but it's a fact that you have to deal with in whatever you're doing creatively. And so if I could go back, man, I would definitely want to really buckle down on the business side of things more and really just, take that into certain situations, because you also have to understand the leverage that you have. Like, it's been situations that I've been in to where, you know, if I'm getting put on a record through this third party, can I really say, push the issue and say, oh, I want percentage, on this record. I want publishing on it. I want ownership of it. It's kind of like you got to know where you align with that. Yes, you are an important part of it, but it's like, you may take that L, but also taking that L, you get your name on the record, and it may be like, oh, this record went triple platinum, or this record, get a Grammy. It's like, okay, now you're a part of this. So now it's just about understanding the leverage that you have in situations, and also understanding how to navigate that, which can be definitely difficult at times, because I saw this yesterday on Instagram. It was a manager, and they was talking about, yeah, I would take a lesser cut for my name to be a part of the record, and that happens more than often than people realize in the record industry, because you want the opportunity, you know,
Yeah,
and that's the tricky situation about the business is, you want the opportunity, but I look at it like this here: you still got bills that got to be paid. So it's kind of one of those things like, you take this opportunity, which could potentially catapult your career and get other artists to see you and more people to want to work with you. But hey, your life may be about to cut off, bro. So it's kind of like,
yeah.
you pick and choose your poison. You feel me? So,
Right, right, right. Real quick, I'm curious, like dead or alive, is there any a particular artist or film director or anybody on both sides of the aisle that you would like to work with that you haven't worked with? Because I know I went through your resume. I know you worked with some hitters, so I just wanted to ask you, is there anybody, dead or alive that you would, go crazy about working with?
um, dead or alive? I mean, alive. My music wise, my top tier would have to be Sade. That's alive. Now, dead, Michael Jackson on the music side.
Okay, okay.
Um, film. Uh, I don't think that's a very good question, because in film, I don't think it's really been anybody that I would say, well, alive. Definitely, there's a lot of people in film I would love to work with. Directors, I would love to work with Jerry Bruckheimer. He directed Armageddon and a lot of classic films, great films. Antoine Fuqua. Hopefully I didn't mispronounce that name. He did the Equalizer films, and
Okay.
Black director. Um, who else? I would love to. Zack Snyder. Because what he's done, would
Yeah,
definitely love to work with Zack. Like, I think he's done some super super dope films.
right, right.
Um, I'm trying to think. Is there anybody else? Not off top that I could really think of. Like, when it comes to movies, man, I really want to work on really big Hollywood movies. A lot of people don't know this. I almost ended up on the Fast X soundtrack.
Dope, dope, dope. Yeah.
Yeah, like I actually did a record that was gonna be for the Fast and Furious X soundtrack. And record executive Mike Herron got a chance to hear my mix, and he heard what I worked on and things of that nature.
Oh, so you be going after them big boy opportunities. I see you. I see you. And
I try.
and real quick before we go, I just wanted to you said something about, getting your credit. And one of the things that like fascinated me as a youth now, like I'm a 90s kid, the television practically raised our generation. So but coming from my situation, being from the city, like credit, like how the film credits, all those names roll down the screen at the end of the film. Like in my
Hmm.
little mind, all I was thinking about in my head, all those are jobs,
Yeah,
and like,
yeah.
I was like, all those people, that's different roles that I could potentially do, you know what I'm saying? Because even
Hmm.
even as a kid, I understood that it's not just the cameraman and the actor. Like it's so many other parts, to entertainment. So I just wanted to like, to say that because like when you said getting your credit, that was like one of the things that like, brought me to this game because I was like, look at all those jobs. Like
Yeah.
I had conversations vividly with my mama, like I know I could do one of them things, like so uh but before we let you go, bro, tell us what's next and is there anything on the horizon that you're looking forward to?
What's next? Actually working with Jackson, Mississippi. Well, actually two Mississippi artists. One specifically from the metro area, Dollar Black. Actually working on. I actually just did his new release, Motion, which is out now on streaming platforms. I mixed that record. Actually funny about this song, I mixed it in under. It was like it wasn't a full mix because he already did some mixing on it, but kind of turned it around in under 24 hours. A quick turnaround with that. And I'm working on his two of his EPs that he got coming out. One called Release and the other one called Black Power, which is Black Power is a conjoined project with multi-platinum record producer Will Power, who I know and I've had a chance to work with. I was one of Will's engineers for back in 2018. That's when I worked with him and Yellow Wolf on some stuff, and I also worked with Trippie Redd's girlfriend Sky Morales. I was her engineer. Um,
You need names, right?
that
Got them names.
Oh yeah, bro. Dang it, the lights went off on me, so I guess it is about time for me to go. Uh, but it's all good. We got brightness.
Right, right.
um, so I'm trying to think who else. Dollar. I'm working with Josh Waters. He has a new record coming out that I'm mastering currently. Um,
Congratulations.
and probably some more Lecrae records and stuff. Whatever they got cooking up over there, at Reach Records, I'll probably end up being a part of it. So.
All right, dope, dope, dope. But real quick, man, give us your socials, man. Give us all your social media handles so the people can tune in, and see what's next.
Social media, man, I'm very easy to find, man. Just hit me up on Instagram. It's at Lids the Wiz. That's the at symbol. LIDZTHEWIZ. That's at Lids the Wiz. That's my Instagram, and that's pretty much the only way to contact me. Or if people actually want to book me, they can book me on a website called Assemble. It's actually website to where you can book myself and other creative professionals, and you can actually talk to us and ask us questions. So if you guys want to book me even just for a consultation, feel free to reach out to me on that platform as well. And therefore, I can answer any questions you have about mixing, mastering, working in the industry, or just business insights as far as like, what's the probably steps to take, getting your legal paperwork, or even just setting up your business to monetize your stuff. So just feel free to hit me up on either one of those platforms.
Hey, y'all better do it, man. This man right here got the knowledge. Y'all tap in. Well, I thank you for joining me, bro. It's been a dope interview. And yeah, man, we're out this 24/7.
Appreciate it, bro. I'll let you.